Hey, welcome. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the AI you probably use every single day. You might think it's some kind of genius that remembers every little thing you say, right? Well, you are in for a big surprise. What's actually going on is a brilliant, and I mean brilliant, illusion.
No, really think about it. Is your AI a genius, or is it just an incredible actor? It can write poetry, it can debug your code, it can plan your entire vacation, and it seems to remember everything from the start of your conversation to the end. But is that real memory, or is it something else entirely? A very, very clever trick.
And here's the punchline. The large language model, the LLM that powers your chatbot, it's a total paradox. It can tap into basically all of human knowledge to whip up a sonnet about quantum physics, but when it comes to remembering what you just said 5 seconds ago, nope, it literally has the memory of a goldfish. Every time you hit send, it's a completely blank slate.
So you have to be asking, how can it be both a super genius and a total amnesiac at the same time? Well, the secret isn't magic, it's actually fundamental to its design. It's what the engineers call a stateless machine.
This right here, this is the whole secret. Stateless basically just means the AI has no internal memory of the past. None. Zero. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't know what you asked a second ago. The only reason it feels like a continuous conversation is because the app you're using is secretly re-explaining everything to it with every single prompt you type. Okay, let's walk through this. When you start a chat, you send your question. That's the only context it has. Then it spits out an answer. Now, for your follow-up, your computer doesn't just send the new question. No, it bundles up your first question, the AI's first answer, and your new question, and sends that entire package back to the AI every single time. It's like forcing someone to reread a whole book from page 1 just so they can understand the very next sentence.
As you can imagine, this whole strategy of constantly rereading the entire conversation history, well, it creates a massive problem, especially when things get long and complicated. You can think of it like carrying a backpack that just gets heavier and heavier with every single thing you add.
So just imagine you're asking an AI to help you code a big piece of software. That conversation would have error messages, tons of code snippets, new ideas. We're talking thousands and thousands of words. Sending all of that back and forth every time you ask a tiny question, it gets incredibly slow and expensive. That backpack of context just gets way too heavy to carry. And here's the real kicker. There's a hard limit to how big that backpack can be. It's called the context window. If your conversation history gets bigger than this window, the AI literally can't see the beginning of the chat anymore. It just falls off. It starts to forget the early parts because they no longer fit. So how in the world do you solve this fundamental memory problem? I mean, it's